Hi again. I am going to now demonstrate the LCHF Pavakka Pitlai. It's a recipe from Dr. Uma Swaminathan's cookbook, LCHF veg recipes, and this requires a little bit of a prep, as in making the Pitlai masala, which I will share some pictures of it, of how I did it, but basically it is taking some cooked dal, tamarind paste, coriander powder, jeera powder, turmeric powder, hing, dry coconut powder, sambar powder, etc. Mixed it well and I made it into balls. So now we'll start the recipe. So in the 2-liter magic pot, I'm going to first put about a half cup of water, and then 3 teaspoons of coconut oil, which I have measured. So I'm going to add that to the bottom, and that again provides the fat to the recipe. It's a good fat. And then about 12 or so curry leaves. I have a few big ones, so I've kind of done a fairly good measure. Green chilies. I'm going to add the green chilies here, and then salt. It's to taste. I just wanted to add that I use, and even for all these recipes, we use Himalayan salt, because that adds the right amount of minerals for this diet especially. So I'm going to put about 1 teaspoon of salt. I'll add that on top of the vegetables. So before I add the salt, I've got 1 cup of cut onion that I'm going to add at the bottom as a layer. Actually, give me 1 second. Yes, and then about 4 teaspoons of raw ground nuts. These are raw. And then I'm adding about 1.5 teaspoons, actually not 1 teaspoon, 1.5 teaspoon of Himalayan salt. And then I've taken about 2 cups of chopped bitter gourd, Pavakka. So I'm putting that on top of the onions and the ground nuts. And then I'm going to put these Pitlai, what I call the Pitlai masala balls. I've made them into 4 balls, but you can add it as you need. And then I'm going to cover and cook on high for 3 whistles. So I also have bottled tadka ready, but I've basically standardized this induction stove to 1200 watts. So that's what I've done here. So what I'm doing is I'm going to share with you the recipe as well. So as I said, I made a Pitlai masala first, in which I used sambar powder, dry coconut powder, turmeric powder, hing, jeera powder, coriander powder, pepper powder, tamarind paste, and 1 cup of cooked tur dal. I mixed all that really well and made it into balls. That's what I used as the Pitlai masala paste. And then in the cooker, I took half cup of water, some coconut oil, curry leaves, green chilies. You don't need to add the salt here. You put the green chilies and then you add the onions, some raw groundnuts, and then I put the salt, and then 2 cups of bitter gourd pieces, and then the Pitlai masala balls. I'm going to cook it on high for 3 whistles, release pressure, open, mix, and add bottle tarka. Now, I may, if I find that I need a little more water, I might add that at the end, but right now, we'll see how it looks. And just really quick, I wanted to add, I have been documenting these recipes, and many of them are, they're by day, as Dr. Swaminathan has put in her cookbook as a menu plan. But I do want to mention that these recipes the measurements are typically meant for 2 people. So if you do want to, you saw, I think, if you've been following the recipes, many of them are in medium-sized quantities. So great for 2 people, but if you want to scale up accordingly, you can do that. But these are basically meant to be, since it's a menu plan, it's a day by day account of lunch and dinner recipes. They follow the low carb, high fat lifestyle with intermittent fasting, and so lunch and dinners are typically outlined. There's also a list of kind of like a shopping list, a menu plan, and recipes by day. So that's something that you can absolutely follow in the cookbook. But I do want to mention that these recipes use mostly shredded vegetables instead of rice, shredded cauliflower, shredded cabbage, shredded broccoli, shredded bottle gourd. Uses coconut oil for the most part for a lot of the curries. In terms of the healthy fat. Sometimes, of course, there are recipes that use butter, but you can absolutely substitute that if you're vegan. But a lot of them are definitely, the recipes are definitely suitable for weight loss, for following a low carb, as in a low, even for mostly for diabetics. It is something that when you follow, you will see a difference. So we're waiting for the first whistle, and as I said, we're going to have 3 whistles here, and then we're going to release. That's the first whistle, and I will be tagging these recipes by day based on the book and the menu plan, and then adding those links as well. That's the second whistle. That's the third whistle. So I'm going to stop and I'm going to release pressure. I see a question about how do you get the book. Hi Rama, we should meet up if you're both in Dallas. You can go to Amazon, and actually it's the Veg LCHF recipes, Opos recipes by Dr. Swaminathan. So you actually will find it on Amazon, just like all the other cookbooks. Okay. So that's what it looks like. I'm going to mix it. Now, because we have the Pitlai masala, we do want to mix it well so that the coconut oil smell is really, really good. I can add actually a little bit more water to this. I'm mixing it really well first, and then I'll add water, and then we will add the bottle tarka. But I do want it to cook a little bit in the heat, so I'm mixing it really well. and I want to make sure that the vegetables are cooked. Yes, they are. And the peanut is slightly hard. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to close it just without turning it on. I'm going to close it for a little bit and then add water. So in the meantime, I'll go grab some water. I'm going to wait for it to finish cooking. I'm actually going to add a little more water, maybe about a half cup, because for the consistency more than anything else, which is good to add after than before. So just added about half cup to get to the Pitlai consistency, because you don't want it to be too thick. And as I keep mixing, it is going to continue cooking actually, because there is so much heat in the vessel and in the ingredients. I'm just going to check again on the peanut. Yeah, it's better. I'm going to actually cover it. I'll put the tadka and then I'm going to cover it and keep it for some time. So I'm going to add the bottled tadka. And my tadka is actually made in sesame oil, but you can also do this if you had coconut oil. That will also absolutely add a good flavor. So I'm adding a little extra, and so that's what it's gonna look like. I'm gonna close it, as I said, just for the peanuts to cook and get a little more tender. They are tender right now, but I do want it to be a little more cooked. So I don't think I would add another whistle to this. I will just leave it cooked in its own heat, and I think that should be good enough. So that's that's the final look of the Pavakka Pitlai, and this typically will go with one of the lunch menus that we had. So I'll, again, as I said, I'll add it to that, and you can take a look. Thank you so much.